Hi everyone, François Pradal from Campus France office. And let's start with a presentation about PhD on research in France. So I'm very glad to meet you online today. My name is François Pradal and I'm the head of the research department at Campus France office. Campus France is a French agency for the promotion of higher education, international student services, and international mobility. Mainly, we inform foreign students and ASEAN students from bachelor to postdoc in France. We help universities from your countries to connect with French universities for better cooperation. And also, we implement system of grants and scholarships to study in France. We are in all ASEAN countries with 255 offices all over the world and 500 people working to inform students from all levels. About research, you know, France is known for fashion, for food, for a lot of things like that, but Airbus is French. When you speak about space and discovery, a French astronaut or cosmonaut is in the air recently. Robots, you can know also about bridge. So all about engineering, from the Eiffel Tower to the new bridges, have meaning in France. About research, recently we had some new Nobel Prize in physics with Alain Aspect, who was the French Nobel Prize for physics, and also in literature with Annie Ernaux. But we are known for mathematics, #2 in the world. France is #4 for the world for publication impact. And in France, you have nearly 300,000 researchers who are working on different fields. Public institutions are known, like CNRS, which is the first in the world, with 10% are internationals. 10% of researchers in France are international, and 26% are women. France spends nearly 2.25% of its GDP for research. Altogether, we are nearly 400,000 people working on this field. 40% of the research is in the public sector and 60% in the private sector, with some known branding like L'Oréal, Michelin, Peugeot, Renault, Thales, and some brands you can know. More precisely, how to do a PhD in France, and is it possible for any Asian country? For sure, the first country who is coming in France is China. Chinese students are the first, followed by Italian students, our neighbors, Lebanese students, our history, Algeria, Morocco, Tunisia, Brazil, India, Spain, Iran. This is the main PhD, international PhD from overseas. And as you see, China is the first country, not far, and you are all your place to study in France, either in French or in English. The French system is a European system, nearly international system, with a bachelor of 3 years, master degree for 2 years, and after 5 years, you can begin a PhD for 3 years. It depends on your specialty, but you can study physics, economy, law, biology, humanities with different laboratories. So each time you have a connection with the laboratory. With 278, nearly 300 now, doctoral schools. A PhD is a scientific work. Usually it's in 3 years. Sometimes you can have 1 year more to finish, to write your thesis. It's a training program with a non-disciplinary training. And the main work is between you and yourself, even if you need to have a supervisor, a doctoral school, a lab, to exchange during these 3 years of research. What are the qualities for a PhD student? First, you need to get a master. Sometimes it's better to come in France at master 2 level to begin to have a research mention, and then you can enter better in a PhD in the university you have followed your master. So this is a point I think which is important. Sometimes it's better to come before to find more easily and to understand more easily the system. You need to have funding. It was 1,000 euro per month minimum. Now it will be nearly 2,000 euro per month. And it's not your money, but you have to find fundings for that. And to have a minimum level of English or French, at least a B2, C1 level. What are the main conditions? You need to have some publications, to have assisted to some seminars and workshops, to have some training programs. It will be the main things seen and viewed in your bio, and during your PhD you will do more publication, seminars, and training, and an oral defense. In some countries you don't need this soutenance, but in France it's nearly a kind of religion, and most of the time you can do everything in English, from the introduction to the conclusion of your thesis. You have many types of doctorates. You can have a single doctorate, one research laboratory, one university, one supervisor, one French degree. You can have a co-supervised doctorate. It means 2 supervisors, one in France, one in your country, and you will get 1 French degree. You can have also, and this is what we promote the most, 2 supervisors, 2 universities, 2 countries, and then you get 2 degrees. It means 1 degree in France and 1 degree in Singapore or Cambodia or Malaysia or other countries you are. And you can have also 2 supervisors, 1 in a French university and 1 in a private laboratory, which means that your PhD, you have to consider that PhD is also work experience, and you have to candidate for a PhD as you have to candidate for a work. It's an agreement, PhD, between your laboratory, yourself, your company, and this is the CIF, the private PhD, as we see together. News, recently we have a new law for to attract more international PhD students in France. It means that the budget for research will be increased from 1.85 billion euro in 2021 to 2.3 billion euro this year and next year. Better salaries for PhD students. It will be nearly 2,000 euro a month in 2023. More doctoral contracts funded by the French government, and more private contract for CIF for PhD in a private company. So PhD will get better access to the job market also. In Campus France, we help for information and to give you as much as we can more information about research, about how to find your PhD. The first thing is about grants. A grant research, we have a campus both engine, a grant search engine at all levels, and you can find some possibility to finance your PhD. Of course, it's easier if you are in science than if you are in literature, but there are many possibilities that your PhD be funded by the French laboratories that will host you, by the way. We have also research in France engines that give you offers on PhD. They give you, yes, we have a possibility to study fundamental physics and issues relative, and you can find by research on topics, your level and your on your country, nationality, you know, all possibilities on this research. So this PowerPoint will be available after our session, but you can write this this address down. We have some booklets in English, French, English about the doctorate step by step that you can download in our website. We have some flyers about research in France. We have also some degree sheets if you are interested to know more about doctoral studies, about what we said about co-tutelle, dual degree, PhD. If you are interested by musicology, we can find, you know, you can find in 2 pages all the possibilities to study musicology in France. But if you prefer to study nanosciences and to know more about research in nanosciences, we have also sheets on this field. You can find sheets on different universities, different laboratories, on CNRS especially. Just to sum up, you know, if you want to have good reasons to research in France, I will say that France is a big country for research, a world-class research, as we see with Nobel Prize and Fields Medal, and also a strong impact for R&D. It's a country of innovation. It's a country of universities, a dynamic R&D, a major economic powerhouse, and there's a big link between public and private research, with a big interest on opening about Asian students. So, so you're more than welcome. You just have to find a way, and we are here to help you. About funding, we have some grants on possibility of fundings, especially in Campus France. We coordinate the FL program, which give you the possibility to have 18 months, not 3 years, but at least 50% of your PhD if you are in these target areas like science and technology, biology, health, ecological transition, mathematics, engineering sciences, but also if you are in humanities and social sciences, which is generally more difficult to find funds, like history, French language, civilization, law and political sciences, economics and management. This monthly allowance is of it's 1,700 euro a month, with a trip cover, with a social security, with all cultural activities delivered, and help for housing on specific conditions. So if you are interested to have a PhD in these target areas, you can candidate. You have to be close from the Campus France office to find the universities that will host you next year. And you have until January 10th, 2023 to apply. Results will be in next April. We have also less for PhD students, but mainly for postdoc students nowadays. The MOBGA program, Make Our Planet Great Again. This is a program that our president has launched about global warming. And as COP27 is nearly ended in Egypt, you know how important it is for all the world to know more about global warming and to help to find solutions, you know. So climate change, sustainability science, earth system science, energy transition, societal challenges, environmental issues is really at the end. We have 40 grants every year. The new call for 2022 will end on January 16th, 2023. It's not for PhD students, it's just after for postdoc students. It means that if you have finished your PhD in less than 5 years, you have the opportunity to participate to this program. We will have one every year. So if you haven't finished yet your PhD, you know, you can apply next year. But it's really for young researchers. And young researchers doesn't mean your age. It means that you have finished your PhD in the last 5 years. It's entirely financed by France and 2,500 euro a month. And really, last year, we just retained a quarter of application to be laureates. After your PhD, you can also participate for research program because we have joint teams, especially with the newly Tonle Sap program with Cambodia, Nusantara program with Indonesia, Hibiscus program with Malaysia, Sense for People for Philippines, Merion for Singapore, Siam for Thailand, and we have a program also with Vietnam, Ocean Lotus, which is not active, but we will activate it as soon as possible. PhD students are more than welcome to be part of research teams and to have this relation between the French laboratories and ASEAN laboratories. You can have a map and you can see how it's important for Asian countries. As a PhD student, you are considered from the beginning as an alumni, and you will have many information about the possibility to be part of this network and to share better your experience and to learn from the experience from other students from all over the world. Our platform is in 34 languages, so you can add one if you didn't get it yet. I'm of course available to answer all your questions, and I'm happy to welcome you in France as soon as possible. Thank you.